Welcome to episode 152 of the No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
I'm Mike.
We're back post-draft. Off-season moves. The off-season has officially begun. Let's talk about the draft first, though.
Yes.
Obviously, I think Cunningham was the overwhelming favorite to go number one.
I thought the top three was no real surprises.
Yeah, no surprises there at all. Right.
I thought the teams just kind of took the best guy available.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mobley, I'm interested to see Mobley on all these teams.
Yeah.
But I think the Cavs need him more than the Rockets and Detroit does.
I think the Rockets. I think he would help the Rockets a lot, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Especially since the Cavs. Well, they're losing Jared Allen. I think Jared Allen restricted free agent. I think. Yeah. So
and I imagine it's going to be more tempting to play through the third pick than paying Allen probably a little bit more than he's worth.
Right. Exactly.
And he deserves, don't get me wrong, he deserves a nice contract.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. And he's someone who has actually gotten better and better every single year.
Yeah. But let's talk about these guys, man. Who do you like the most? Who are you the most concerned about? Whether it's the team or the skill set? What do you think?
We talked about it a little bit. I haven't seen the Magic get a right draft pick in a while that I thought would like go to the Magic and really make a change. I don't see Suggs doing really anything for the Magic.
The problem is it's Orlando.
Exactly.
Because Suggs is a good pick. Like he's a good logical pick.
He is.
But again, I talk about this all the time. Every offseason we talk about this. What's the direction? And I haven't seen that with Orlando in our entire podcast life.
Orlando has, and I mentioned this, they have like the number one rated guard from like the last 4 drafts already on the team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got Bolts. What's the kid? Cole.
They stuck OG Carter Williams is over there.
Carter Williams is back there too.
I feel like he is, yeah.
Yeah, and they got Hampton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
and again, it's weird because like players develop there.
Cole Anthony, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, but like players develop there, but again, the team like it never really impacts the team.
Right.
It never translates. Issue. Yeah, it never translates to wins. You can't really even tell if it's causing losses. Like,
right.
The Magic they're just like in a purgatory spot right now.
Big time. And the thing is, they're getting, pretty high picks and just not making these, Cole Anthony, as good as he was and as good as he even played last year, the way he plays is not an instant impact kind of game. It's hard to be an instant impact 6'2", 6'3" guard in the NBA now. Just in general, it's hard. RJ Hampton, even though they didn't draft him, they got him through, trades or whatever. Hasn't really seen anything to show that he would really help the team. Getting Suggs, I think Suggs is a good impact guy for a team that is already decent, or like if that's the missing spot you're missing a combo guard and you put Suggs there, that's cool. But when you have nothing and you get just another project, I don't think anyone thinks Suggs is an instant impact in the NBA is my point. So they have a team full of guys who make no impact at the moment.
Yeah, they haven't been able to put it together. And their talent like shows itself because they're competitive enough to make the playoffs any random year.
Yeah.
But again, you making the playoffs to go out in the first round, that's not really like a future.
Right.
That's just you not sucking completely.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's just tough.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just tough with Orlando because a lot of the teams we talked about during the playoffs, like whatever problems they had, we can kind of see a way to fix it.
Right.
Even the teams that didn't make the playoffs, in a lot of situations, we could see the improvement or the like what needs to improve.
Yeah.
I don't see that in Orlando. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, me either. Me either. And I think they made a ballsy move last year with trading Vooch to the Bulls for Wendell Carter Jr.
And Fournier.
And Fournier to Celtics. Three-way trade. And also they got Otto Porter too. So Gary Harris as well. They got so
But again, like most teams picking up Gary Harris, I see why.
yeah.
Orlando is one of the few teams who got two impact wings, and I have no clue why they got them.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
playing Otto Porter only negates some of the up and coming players you do have.
Right.
Same thing with Harris, to be honest. It kind of limits some of your guards who need time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're doing.
So good. Projected starting five for them next year would be, I'm guessing Fultz, Suggs, Porter. No, Suggs, Porter, Harris, Bamba, and Carter Jr. Wendell Carter Jr. Or
I
no,
mean, that's
Isaac. Isaac is coming back.
oh yeah.
I don't know if he's the 3 or the 4.
I mean,
But
I don't hate it, but I don't care enough about it
yeah,
to like to like for it to matter.
right. And maybe they just got Wagner because his brother is already there. Is that why?
It has to be. But with the 9th pick,
And his brother they barely use. It's
and
not like he's a Atentacumpo. It's
yeah,
just some dude.
his brother has shown that like if you put him in the right positions in the right role, he can contribute.
He can, yeah.
And I saw that when he was playing in college. I was like, I see a skill set for a big who could come in and just be a mismatch because he has different skills.
Yeah, he was tough. He was really tough in college.
Right.
Yeah.
With Franz, I didn't really see that.
Oh. All right, let's moving on from Orlando. The one pick we both were kind of intrigued, or I don't want to say confused because that sounds negative, but the number 4 pick, Scottie Barnes, to Toronto.
I'll keep it negative. I don't mind.
Bad pick for you?
I just like, is Anunoby not there? Is this guy not exactly the same caliber of player?
They like that caliber of player.
He's more of a project than I think Anunoby was, because Anunoby came in like with NBA defensive skill set.
Yeah, Anunoby came in. I knew exactly what he was going to do on whatever team that picked him up.
Right. And he's developing into a better shooter than I thought he would, to his credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe Barnes could do that, but athletically, he doesn't, like, I don't see the same potential that Anunoby has.
No, me either.
So that's my only real reservation, and maybe I'm sleeping on his athleticism.
I mean, he body wise, he's a freak, but as far as the everything else, I'm not seeing it. And the thing is, he's kind of in between as far as position goes, because I know he liked to handle the ball a lot at Florida State, but I don't see him handling the ball on an NBA level. Um, I don't see him really playing guard at an NBA level. So, or defending at a small forward position at an NBA level.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a little bit interesting.
But one thing I do like about it, the more I kind of thought about how he fits in Toronto specifically,
Mm-hmm.
now that Lowry's is out, they're
Yeah,
gonna have a lot more opportunity to go big.
yeah, they are.
Like,
Yeah.
and they didn't do that enough to me. I thought there a lot of the success they had the Kawhi year was because they played two bigs.
Mm-hmm.
And you play two experienced bigs. You put that with wings who could defend anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and then all you need is a creative guard. And I think Van Fleet, even with the problems we had with him this past year, I think Van Fleet, like, there's a lot less pressure on him when there's more size in the game with him.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Oh, go ahead.
my only thing is I just don't know if Scottie Barnes is ready to step in immediately.
Mm-hmm.
When you're getting a fourth pick, I need a guy, maybe not a star, but I need a guy who can step in immediately.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm very skeptical about Scottie Barnes. He seems like a 2-year guy at minimum,
Yeah, I agree. I
as
agree with
far
that.
as like giving him time to find his role.
But also to your point, they have a team that with him, they can also go a complete versatile lineup where it's like just a completely positionless.
Yes.
Everybody out there plays multiple positions because they could have
Yes.
Barnes, Siakam, um, Boucher, and OG out there at the same
Yeah.
time. You know,
And I think they're capable of succeeding playing like that.
yeah. And you have Gary Trent who can, bring the ball up court enough to play at the point, but really is a two. You have Van Vliet, who obviously we know goes 1 and 2. So yeah, they could do that. They can figure it out.
So yeah, Toronto's a team like I'm never gonna not be positive about their potential because I like how they play.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, fourth pick, you're taking a question like probably the biggest question mark, easily the biggest question mark in the top five to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
Uh,
for sure.
as far like he's the only one in the top five who I question some of his skills and how they'll translate.
Yeah.
I really don't have that question for any of the other four guys.
And this is something that's kind of interesting about the Florida State um, pipeline to the NBA in general. He often gets a lot of guys that in college look amazing, but in the NBA they take a really long time to blossom.
Yes.
Like this is like a common theme for him. We saw Terrence Mann. I mean, he this is like his 5th year before he really even has any impactful games on the court, and they're still not like he's taking over 1-on-1. It's just that he can hit shots, he
Yep.
can cut to the basket, he can just do regular things that people who know how to play basketball can do. I'm not taking anything away from his talent. He's a good player, but it's not like it's a
But
not
he
like it's
didn't. Yeah, he didn't fit in until he could hit the corner shots.
right. Exactly.
So
And then we look at what was the kid's name? Raton Mays that like had like 30 and
yeah,
10
yeah,
minutes.
yeah. Xavier Raton
Yeah.
Mays. Yeah, I remember him. He was
Yeah.
really quick scorer.
It looked amazing in college. That didn't make it to the NBA and just doing what he does best, which was scoring. He didn't get a good look in the NBA. And now I saw a clip of him. I don't remember where he was playing, but he was eating people like
Yeah,
alive.
I saw pickup clips of him a while back, and he looked easily like the best player there. And this
Yeah.
was like pro runs, so there's a
Right.
lot of talent in those.
So it's something about that Florida State. Maybe they prepare great for college, but the NBA transition just isn't as smooth as some of these other schools that we put up here at the top level recruiting,
It's
NBA
just
recruiting.
it's tough because a lot of them end up kind of being like these late top 10 picks or
Mm-hmm.
even like a top 15 pick. And when you get from like 5 to 15, the situation you're going into is so crucial.
Yeah, it is.
Like the top 5 guys, I have a different standard for because they're expected to resurrect a dying franchise.
Mm-hmm. Or
And
be
with
a
the
part of the resurrection at least.
right at 5 to 15, you're going into a team with talent more often than not.
Yeah, who may or may not even really want that draft pick.
Right.
And I mentioned this last year. That's one thing that is so overlooked as far as getting drafted is, does the team actually want you on the team? Some
I'll
people
give you
just
2 examples off the top, just looking at the top 15. Davion Mitchell
Mhm.
to Sacramento and James Bouknight to Charlotte.
Exactly.
There's no logic there other
No.
than a valuable asset.
Right. And the best, like you said before, best available.
Yep.
Because Mitchell really could have went at 6 for me. I mean, I thought he did enough to go that high. I thought Booknight did enough to go top 10. But these teams, you have Charlotte that has the twins that are guards. They have Graham. They have LaMelo. They have Monk. They have Rozier. And they all play the same position as Booknight. They have 5 players ahead of him there. Davion Mitchell, arguably the best rookie of last season, plays his position on that team. So it's like, what are we doing? And obviously, I mean, we know what Fox does, and Fox is a greyhound. He never has to come out the game, really. So it's like, like you said, what's the situation there? What are
Yeah.
they
I,
looking
I
for?
couldn't tell you. And the tough part about it is like with a team like Sacramento, I don't trust like San Antonio. If they get an asset, I know there's a plan, there's an idea, there's like a bigger, idea that they have that or a move they want to do.
Yep.
Sacramento just throws shit at the wall and sees what sticks.
Yeah, they do.
They just try random shit, and this is a talented guard, probably the most NBA ready guard skill, like point guard.
Yeah. I mean, as far as athletics,
Just from his overall game, maybe the Creighton guard I thought looked pretty good.
oh yeah.
Who I
Yeah.
think was late second round because he's not as athletic.
Yeah.
But
He went to
Mitchell,
Brooklyn, I think.
athletically and skill wise, was the best NBA potential point guard I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And Sacramento scoops him. There's a good chance he ends up just sitting there.
Very good chance.
Good chance he sits there. He gets thrown into the lineup when, in an awful 3-guard lineup or when guys get hurt. So he's going to look worse because the situation's not really built for him to succeed.
Yep.
And then you started off his career on the wrong note.
Yeah. Yep. And
It's frustrating to me, man.
and with the Book Night situation, I didn't see a lot of one-on-one scores from the guard position as good as Book Night this year. I mean, he UConn's team was not good, and he was completely carrying them from a one-on-one scorer position. And you go to a team full of one-on-one point guard scorers. So,
I just it's shocking to me that a team that's, like you said, so dominated by guards, for their bigs to have an impact, they have to develop in the wings.
yeah.
Like Miles Bridges was useless until he developed into a small forward.
Yeah. And PJ
And
Washington was a power forward. I compared him to Millsap coming into the league, and now he's they're like a designated shooter for them at times.
exactly, everybody's like a perimeter threat.
Mm-hmm.
And like I haven't seen a big man make an impact there since like Hernan Gomez turned up at the last 10 games of the season for no reason.
I mean, they
And
had
he's
Dwight there, and Dwight wasn't doing anything, man.
exactly. So the fact that they took Book Night and I don't like it's like they took him and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I just it's weird to me. Again, maybe they're trying to make like bigger moves, but I don't trust the organization. Mike, MJ does not make moves like a next level thinker.
No, he doesn't.
He just makes random moves that are available.
Yeah.
So it makes me nervous for those guys, those two guys in particular, because I like them a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And I wanted to see them like be put in a position to where I could really tell whether they belong in the league or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if Book Knight gets what Malik Monk got for his first 3 years, I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Because that's not nobody succeeds like that.
No, they don't. No.
And Monk honestly has succeeded as much as he probably could.
Monk could be a real 6-man on a lot of teams in the league.
And he's shown that playing like very, very randomly, incoherently, just kind of when guys are hurt or when the rotation's just being changed for no reason.
Yep.
There's no structure.
Yeah, exactly.
So I hope these guys do well, man. I hope I'm wrong and they get a chance to step in and help out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. The Knicks just decided to pick the highest jumpers in the draft for some reason. I see no rhyme or reason other than that they are good dunkers. Ty Jones from Texas, good player. Keon Johnson from Tennessee, my alma mater, best vertical in the draft. That's basically it. No offense to him, but I didn't see anything else. Jericho Sims. I wanted the Knicks to get him, but after you already got the two highest jumpers in the first round, you go get the dude that hit his head on the rim. Cool. I like it. I'm not sure about Jeremiah Robinson Earl, but chances are same situation. But no rhyme or reason again for the Knicks. So I just want to get that out the way so we don't have to go back to them at all. Let's talk about the second round, man. Wait, is there anything else you want to say about the first round? Quentin Grimes to the Clippers.
I mean, DC had to take the guy I shitted on probably more than anybody in the tournament.
And what are they doing with him, man?
I don't know.
Right.
It's just I see the potential, but it's such a reach for that transition to be made well.
I agree.
And maybe he could develop into like a Connaughton type of player, but that's not a compliment, by the way, in any way. If you've been watching our Milwaukee recaps for throughout the playoffs, if I'm comparing you to Connaughton, your trajectory is not looking great.
Right. Also the Magic ended up getting Jason Preston, the kid that, everyone's heard the stories, went viral. But why would you get him and Suggs? That's the part that was kind of weird to me. Again, after you already have the best 4 guards of the last 4 drafts, basically.
I couldn't tell you.
So the league just said, you know what, Detroit, you guys just get all the best players you could possibly get. Because second round, they end up getting Luka Garza, who was like the best center all season in college basketball, and Isaiah Livers, who was like he got hurt last year, but before he got hurt, he was projected to be like a top 20 pick.
Yeah, he was the most NBA ready big I saw in Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the little bit that we saw him.
He's like a complete stretch 4, like in the league. Like right now, he'll probably be one of the better shooters in this draft.
Yep. And Garza is like a guy who you can't help but put in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even if Garza's not like Garza could have a bad training camp, and I'd still want to give him playing time.
Exactly. So I think Detroit did a great job. JT Thor, where did he play again?
Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn.
Yeah, he's tough.
I didn't see Auburn too much, so I can't really speak on him.
Now I remember Thor now for sure. He's real long, smooth. They're, yeah, I like what Detroit did. I like what they did a lot. I also like what the Pelicans did. Getting Herb Jones, Jared Butler, nice pickups for the second round. Um, a lot of these guys in the second round were big names in college basketball. That's what was kind of surprising to me. The fact that BJ Boston, Luka Garza, Jared Butler, DeSumo, um, obviously Preston. Let's see who else.
The
Reef
Illinois
Cooper.
kid, by the way, I think will help Chicago a lot.
Me too. Me too. He fits. I mean, he fits right in. He's like, you take Kobe White out and put him in. You don't lose
Yes.
that much in
Yes, and
theory.
you need a little more flavor than like Saturansky could give you.
Exactly. And I prefer Saturansky off the actual point. Yeah.
I like
I
that
like
too.
I like him at point forward, like point small forward. I think he's better at that. Especially
Yeah.
when you have scoring guards, because you pass it off to him and the guard gets to actually run the play, and you have another
Right.
good passer. Someone sees over the defense because he's his height. I like Sharif Cooper to Atlanta. They got Sharif Cooper and Jalen Johnson. I like both those picks.
Cooper is like a long project to me.
He is.
But I like that Atlanta is a good spot to give him that chance.
Exactly. That's what I like about it. I don't have any other comments, I don't think, for the
I
draft.
mentioned the Creighton guard Zagorowski going
Yeah.
to Brooklyn, I believe he got
Brooklyn. Yep.
traded.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the pick got traded or he did after getting picked, but that's a good move, man. That's a good spot for him to like get a chance to get some random minutes.
Yeah, it is. They also got Cam Thomas in the first round. A lot of people were saying he's the best shooter of the draft out of LSU, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good disciplined draft move.
Yeah.
And it showed that they went into the draft trying to fix some of the playoff issues.
Yeah.
Which I actually like.
Yep. You got any other comments?
I mean, I don't think he's league. I don't think he's going to be a good league player, but I hope Aaron Wiggins proves me wrong because he's a Maryland guy. He's going into kind of a mess,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a hot mess. So they're going to throw him out there. I'm hoping.
It's weird that they get all these picks and they're not really doing anything.
They were moving in the right direction, and then they just blew all that shit up.
Yeah, like they had all these great picks, and to me, I don't see any of their picks being like transitional picks. Like, yo, we got him. Now we're about to do this with that. And they just got a bunch of all question marks. It feels like.
Yep. And you know what? I lost a lot of respect that they were willing to trade SGA to not even get the number 1 pick to get like a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
That to me, the one guy who you've gotten out of all these picks and trades that like it could be a cornerstone for the team.
Yeah.
You're moving him for Jalen Green.
Yeah. I wouldn't move him for Jalen Green.
Exactly. That's my whole point. And if you're moving like a smaller package or maybe for a pick and another good player, okay, maybe I could see that.
I'd give up every pick I had in this draft for Green or Mobley before I give up SGA for him.
That's what I'm saying. You talk about guys who improve every year.
Yeah.
SGA has made a huge leap every single year.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're like not sold on him of all things, I'm like, dude, that's the one consistent thing you had all year.
Yeah. And they had 6 picks in this draft. I'd give up 6 picks for him easily. I mean, for the one of the top three.
Yeah, it's tough that they didn't get a top 5. I thought 6, getting the 6th pick kind of hurt them.
Yeah.
Because getting any of those top 5 guys, even Scottie Barnes, I think would help them out quite a bit.
Yeah, I did too. Because they're another team that has that.
I don't know Giddy at all.
They have another team that has that ability to go like real versatile with their whole lineup.
Yeah, we're not really gonna know what their even direction is until we see what they do with Kemba.
Yep.
Because it's good is like 95% chance he's gonna be moved.
Yeah.
For something. I want to see what that is.
Yeah, me too. Warriors picks, I'm not looking too deep into them. I saw Kuminga, wasn't impressed. I saw Moody in college. I liked his game, but I don't see either of them really affecting Golden State much. But Golden State, because they'll put like their 4 starters out with one rookie and make the rookie kind of just like force him to get better. I like that they do that. Not a lot of the teams are
I
willing
wish
to
more
do
teams. I was just gonna say, I wish more teams would do that.
Yeah, and I think the Clippers did that with Man here and there in the first 2 years, but I love that the Warriors do that.
But the Warriors give you real playing time.
Yeah, they do.
Like Terrence Mann did not get that.
No, he didn't. You're right.
Guys had to get hurt for Terrence Mann to get real time.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors give guys a chance, which I really like.
Yep. Okay, let's get into the moves that have been made. First of all, let's start small.
I mean, all these, not a lot of big moves other than the contract decisions so far.
Yeah. So Tristan Thompson has been traded to where again?
Atlanta,
and then
for Chris Dunn, I believe, and a pick.
He got traded to Atlanta for Chris Dunn and a pick, and then he got moved again to Sacramento for DeLon Wright. So DeLon Wright is in Atlanta. Tristan Thompson is in Sacramento. Chris Dunn is in Boston. Any thoughts?
When did DeLon Wright leave Dallas, by the way? How did I miss that? Like, how did he get to Sacramento?
Did he go from Toronto to Dallas?
I think so.
So he went from Toronto to Dallas.
I remember him being in Dallas, being pretty good.
Maybe.
That might be it.
I'm trying to think what other connection is there between Dallas and Sacramento.
That would make sense because that's the only one I could think of. Because I don't remember DeLon Wright just like being a free agent signing places like that. But anyway, it's a small point. Small point.
How did he get to Dallas?
From Toronto, I want to say.
Yeah, but did he get traded or did he?
I don't know. I don't know. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, here we go. On February, is this DeLon or it's DeLon? On February 7th, 2019, Wright, CJ Miles, and Valanciunas were traded for Marc Gasol. So that he went to Memphis. He was in Toronto first, went to Memphis.
And then Dallas.
Yeah, then Wright was acquired by Dallas in a sign-in trade.
Okay.
And the draft rights to Satnam Singh and 2 picks. Then he was traded to the Pistons in a 3-team trade involving OKC. Then he was traded to Sacramento for Corey Joseph, who never went to.
That's crazy because I just saw Detroit waived Corey Joseph, and I was like, "Yo, how did he get there?"
So that's how we got there. Yeah.
Okay. Now we got to the bottom of it.
Well, who was in that OKC trade for? Who came from OKC to Detroit?
Why does he get moved like he sucks, by the way?
I know. He was actually
That's
really good on Toronto. This was
he,
all in 2019, by the way.
yeah,
All of this happened.
he's getting moved around like he's like washed up, like he's like Rondo or somebody.
Yeah.
No, but the reason we're talking about this, and we talked about this when it happened, he's a good player.
He is.
And when you go into a roster that's pretty much figured out for the most part,
Yep.
it's hard for me to look at him and be negative because he's helped every team he's gone to.
Yeah.
He's an easy guy to fit in. He's a combo guard who could fill in whatever position you need. He moves the ball. He attacks mismatches. Again, there's really no deep dive to his game. He's just a smart basketball player.
Yep.
And he helps now. Like you can manage Trey's minutes better. You could rest him a little more.
Yeah. You'll actually have him miss the whole season, basically.
Right.
And then when he did get out there, he didn't look healthy still. Or just not
bad.
good. One or the other.
Just really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, whichever way you want to look at it.
But I mean, again, I'm happy for the move, man. I think the rich got richer with this one.
Yeah, I think everybody benefited from this. I do. I think Celtics, if they use Chris Dunn or not, and they got Bruno Fernando also in this, if they use Chris Dunn or not, I think you still saved a lot of money letting Tristan go. So that's good. And Tristan going to the Kings. The Kings are in a weird center position because they got Bagley. They don't know what they're doing with him. Whiteside is a
They're
free
the
agent.
Orlando of the West.
Yes. Whiteside is a free agent.
Players.
And then they don't know what if they're going to be able to afford Rashawn Holmes. So having Tristan Thompson as that security, I get it. I like it. And he fits into them. They don't do much from the center position anyway. They have a bunch of skilled centers that they really don't even need.
Yeah, I'm a little more skeptical because like Rashawn Holmes has to be gone for me to even see like him as a good pickup. Thompson,
right.
But like Bagley's weird because I don't really blame all of his struggles on Sacramento because he's been hurt a lot. Mm-hmm. He's also like he's kind of soft from the things I've seen.
Definitely soft.
So some of it is his own issues.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know, him playing alongside Thompson does not make me excited.
No, and they're both kind of undersized nowadays for the center.
Right. And Sacramento was not easily, but they were officially the worst defensive team in the league last year.
And they had Whiteside. It's still the worst defensive team in the league.
I mean, ask Portland what that's like. They'll tell you. They know.
Whiteside went from getting like multiple 10-block games to everywhere he goes happens to be the worst defense in the league. So that's strange.
And you know the reason I'm so skeptical is because Boston was a great defensive team. Thompson gets their defense goes down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of other reasons for that. Mm-hmm. But Thompson was the most glaring guy in there that didn't belong.
Right.
And he made me realize how valuable Tice was.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Right.
That's
and
bad.
Again, not a good thing.
Right.
But again, Sacramento's this team. I got to see what they do with Buddy before we could really like have an idea of what they're doing.
I think there's a very good chance that within the next 2 years, Sacramento completely blows the team up. No Fox, no Buddy, no whichever big man that they keep in this offseason. I think they may all be gone next season. But we'll see what happens.
That's not really a hot take or anything. Like,
no, it's not.
That's a very expected result for them.
I could see them going the OKC route and just
Yes,
getting a bunch of picks.
100%. And I want them to just keep resetting until you have some kind of direction.
I just want all the talent they have in other places. Definitely, I want Fox somewhere I can actually watch some of his games.
I want Buddy Hield somewhere where we know what his like which spot on the team he has.
Yeah,
Is
that
he the
too.
top 3 player or is he a fucking bench guy?
Right, because we've seen them going back and forth with Bogdanovich and him and trying to figure out who would be the starting guard, who's the sixth man. And then now we see Bogdanovich is starting and looks like he maybe should be a sixth man. And Buddy, they just can't figure out, still can't figure out whether they want to start him or not. And every other team probably in the league would figure out a way to start Buddy Hield on their team.
Is Luke Walton still the coach?
No, I don't think so.
I think they fired him, right?
Yeah.
Their
Sacramento head
culture,
coach is.
their
Oh, no.
culture is awful, by the way. He's still there?
Yeah.
Forget everything I said. They suck. We're not gonna waste a lot of time talking about them this year. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, it says. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Luke Walton's still there. Okay.
Of all the coaches who got axed in a single year, Luke Walton deserves another crack at it with the talent he got over there.
And they really haven't made any changes. It's different if they like made a
team that has 2, 3, 4 years together.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Literally, there's no roster like issue as far as why they're not succeeding.
Exactly.
And they're not succeeding.
Next trade. Boston has acquired Josh Richardson from Dallas for nothing.
Basically. Another guy who the league just assumes he's awful.
Yeah, and he's someone that, again, he's one of those guys to me you have to actually want on your team, because if you just get him and you just put him out there, that's not what he does. You have to
actually saw that in Dallas.
Exactly. They got him because they were losing Seth, so it was just whatever. And it didn't work, obviously. So I think if Boston wants him, and Boston, I'm thinking him and Smart will probably play really well together. So I like it. I like that pickup a lot.
Dude, if he has like a really consistent shooting year, he's going to be a top tier role player. That's really all he's missing.
It is, yeah.
Because he's another like DeLon Wright type where he's not a point guard, but he could fill in a couple minutes at the position.
Yeah, he can.
He's a capable ball handler. He takes really and long. Makes exactly. He takes and makes solid shots. He doesn't force shit unless shot clock's running out.
Yeah.
He's also a good defender, even though he's undersized.
Very good defender,
which is hard to come by.
He shields the ball really well, and he's hard to steal it from. Yeah. Like I said, because he's really long, good body. Yeah,
he's a good like within the system player.
Yeah, he is, and he's someone that you need to get him shots, because one problem in Dallas, he would get a three maybe every open three every 2 games. Yeah. And that's not going to work.
Right.
Not for someone like him. He's an energy guy. So. Let's see what else. Charlotte is announcing Malik Monk will become an unrestricted free agent. So we kind of talked about that. I assume Book Knight will be taking that spot.
Not a good spot to take, but
exactly. Right. So we have some extensions being declined, options being declined. I mean, Kawhi has declined his option.
Hold on. We're forgetting the big move. I just realized the Lakers made a blockbuster trade, and we're over here like it didn't happen.
Well, I figured we'd talk about that for a long time.
Oh, okay. You want to save that to the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about these contracts then.
Kawhi has declined his option. No surprises there. Negotiate a new deal. He'll probably want more money. Clippers will be dumb. Give him his money. Chris Paul, I believe, has officially declined his option. Is that correct?
Yeah. 44
DeRozan will
mil.
be DeRozan and Lowry will both be free agents this offseason as well. Rumors are that Miami is aggressively trying to trade for Lowry and are interested in acquiring DeRozan as well, which would be absolutely insane. But
DeRozan's awkward, man. Like he's a tough guy to analyze how he steps into a new roster.
Yeah, he is.
Because the progression he made as a player from Toronto to San Antonio was like night and day almost.
It was.
And I'm curious. I don't know if I guess I should give him more credit for that because he came to San Antonio and immediately developed into a capable point guard.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how that'll change again when he goes to another team.
I think he would be great on Miami because he's someone that will never disappear as your scorer. And he's someone that when Butler disappears, you have someone who will take the ball and go try to get a basket. Because Butler's going to disappear.
This is the problem. In Toronto, they needed him to score. So we always noticed him out there.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio needed him to create. So we always noticed him out there.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's not always going to need something from him.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen him be like a second, third, fourth guy.
But you don't think that he'll have the opportunity to be both of those things for the first time, create and score?
But then the problem is Jimmy Butler has disappeared and you provided a solution. So now Jimmy Butler never has to appear in the regular season.
But he can just do what he likes to do, which is just pass and play half, play defense sometimes.
I don't want DeRozan to like encourage him to do more of that. That's not the solution.
But the thing is, I guess all I'm saying is they can afford for Butler to take the breaks now. Like these last 2 years, Butler took breaks and they could not afford for him to take breaks. Even last year, they made it all the way to the finals. In the finals, Butler decided to take full game breaks instead of just possessions. Yeah. And now Butler takes a break. Okay. Now Butler will never have to feel like he's taking too many shots. Because if he's not taking a shot, DeRozan's taking a shot. If DeRozan's not taking a shot, okay, now Butler, you got a mismatch. Go, take it right to the rack like you do.
I don't know. I'm trying to picture it in my head, like DeRozan and Butler on the same court.
Butler holding the ball and trying to make passes. I mean, I think all the negative I had for Butler would stop if they had another scorer on the team, another one-on-one threat. That was my problem with them last year. I'm not afraid of anyone on the team one-on-one. I mean, Dragic, that's partially because Dragic was injured a lot, but everyone else on the team, I am confident with anybody on my team going out there playing that one-on-one. But not DeRozan.
I'm with that. I mean, again, it's hard to see it not work.
Yeah.
But I'm just skeptical about that duo being able to play off of each other.
And then, DeRozan at his peak as a scorer, he had Lowry. And Lowry
is a completely different story because Lowry's game is like his game is designed for any type of player to fit with him.
It is. Yeah, it is. I'm just saying
Butler is not like that.
That would be insane for them to have that duo and just take the Toronto duo and put them on the Heat.
That would be wild.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sign and trade Dragic for Lowry. This is the rumor.
The East, though, is in like serious danger of being taken over by like 3 to 4 teams.
Yeah.
While, you know what I mean? Like, which I guess is not that bad. It's better than like 2 super teams and everybody else has no chance.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's creating this like 4-team monopoly to where the bottom half of the playoff teams we won't even care about.
Yeah, it's getting really, but it's more or less already like that though.
Yeah. Like Brooklyn's already that. Philly is like a small step away from that.
Yeah.
Boston could easily make a couple moves to get into that.
Yeah.
Miami obviously is about to be that with all the moves they're trying to make.
Yeah.
They're trying to sneak Kawhi out of LA as far as we know.
Somebody probably is. Yeah. New York probably.
So I just obviously Milwaukee's another team that's pretty much like much better than the second half of the Eastern team.
Well, if you look since LeBron was there, since he was on the Heat, it's really just been Boston, Miami, Milwaukee,
Toronto,
and then Philly. Philly came after the process. Philly took Cleveland's spot after the process is finished. So then now it's just been Philly, Boston, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn for the last 3 or 4 years, and Toronto here and there. But Toronto's drop off was so bad.
You know what it is? I think it's because I'm a DC guy. That's what the problem is. Because I'm looking at these teams that are already great, that are about to be even better.
Yeah.
And DC's.
It's been about 6 teams.
Crying.
And for the last 10 years or 7 years or so, it's been 6 teams, and the other teams have had no chance.
Atlanta's getting in there too.
Atlanta's getting in there for sure. I think Atlanta's one move away from being one of the more dominant teams in the East.
Yes, so I'm going to take that back. I think I'm overreacting. I'd much rather have what we're having now than what we had with the Miami, like the Lakers in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Where it was like 2 to 3 teams and nobody else is even in the conversation.
Yeah. And for a while, really, the East was just they weren't in the conversation at all.
A free lick for LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's do it.
Talk about the big trade.
Yes. Lakers.
This trade blew my fucking mind.
Me too, man. It came out of nowhere. It was no
talk
whispers.
about. Yeah. There's no like. I think I had heard a couple things about the Wizards looking to shop Russ.
And we always knew Russ wanted to get to LA. So, I mean, we've known that for years. Especially
but I
Lakers.
didn't think anybody wanted him, to be honest with you.
I knew someone would take him if the price was good. And I think this was a pretty good price. I mean, I think this was a good price for the Lakers. It was definitely worth paying on paper, based on what these other guys were doing. So Russell Westbrook has been traded for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Yep, Caldwell-Pope, and the 22nd pick.
That's crazy that KCP spent like 3 playoff games not taking as many shots as LeBron wanted, and he's gone. Because I would not have given up KCP for Russ. I'm gonna be honest.
No, just KCP.
Montrezl and Kuzma, they're in a trade potentially for anybody.
Yeah,
but KCP was a great fit for the team.
He was. He's definitely their biggest loss.
Yeah, KCP filled out their guard rotation every time, no matter who was the rotation.
Oh, and the Wizards traded the number 22 pick to the Pacers for Aaron Holiday. Good pickup.
I didn't notice that. That is a good pickup.
I didn't know that either. It's like in parentheses after this trade, like they were just gonna sneak it by people, I guess.
Yeah,
that's a great
and
pickup.
I like the moves they're making. They're trying to like fix some of their holes finally.
Yeah.
And as far as the 3 guys they got, I mean, all of these guys are gonna come in and have a spot to play.
There was no spot. There was no guaranteed spots on the team other than Beal's.
Right.
They're all open
and I
spots.
think like Kuzma fills in a position we're probably lacking in the most, which is wing.
Yeah.
So he finally gets a real opportunity to like play.
Kuzma is good, and this is to me where the Lakers were kind of tried to exploit this in the wrong way. But Kuzma is someone that whatever position you don't have, Kuzma can play it. You don't have a small forward, you don't have a 2 or a 4. Kuzma can play any of those for you at any
Yes.
time. So
Yeah.
and that helps for a team that is kind of up in the air about their roster.
It's interesting because DC's got a lot of new things coming in, new coach, new point guard. So to get these guys who, like Kuzma is essentially a vet as far like in league average years.
Yeah,
because he's been in the league for a couple years. He's played at very competitive, levels because he's made right.
Mm-hmm.
And KCP's been around for a long time. He knows how to play. Montrezl is going to be hungry coming off of what just happened with him this year.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, these are three guys that are to me surefire fits on the team.
I agree. They're pretty much fits for any team. They're just like
exactly
wild cards for anybody.
Exactly. And getting rid of Russell Westbrook was to me step 2. After step 1, they made step 1. They took a little too long to replace step 1.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we're on the right track, DC. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree.
So I hope they just keep moving in that right direction.
Okay.
Now but for the Lakers.
I was going to say, but no one really cares about DC.
Except me, right?
No, I do too. I like it. I hope I get to see them play at least once or twice this year. But Russell Westbrook is going to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. This is like a dream fantasy draft for people. They've always wondered what Westbrook and LeBron together would look like when LeBron was in his prime. So in my opinion, this can either go one of two ways. They will lead the league in turnovers. LeBron will get frustrated with Russ. Russ will still, be top 5 in the league in air balls and missed threes. They're going to shoot terrible from the 3-point line because they just traded 2 of their best shooters. Anthony Davis isn't going to get any of Russ's rebounds because they're all going to be ill-advised shots. LeBron's going to be in weird spots because
what's the 2 options? Because it sounds really bad. What you're describing sounds awful.
This is all one option. LeBron's not a catch and shoot guy, so he's going to be catching the ball in weird spots. None of the 3 of them are catch and shoot. Of this big 3 are catch and shoot players, so it's kind of weird because Westbrook and LeBron are obviously passing is their best attribute. So it would just be a complete disaster, but they'll still win a lot of games because obviously they're going to outscore somebody most nights. So that's one option. Option 2, Westbrook leaves the league in assists with like 16 assists a game. LeBron is energized. He's getting really good load management. His minutes are great. He's healthy going into the playoffs. Anthony Davis is the league MVP because he averages nearly a triple-double a game with outlet passes to Russ and LeBron. And they waltz right into the finals. That's the other option. I think it's going to be one or the other between those 2, and I'm going to go with the former, not the latter.
It's tough for me, man. I've been high on the Lakers up until their Phoenix loss, which I thought was due because they just ran out of gas and broke down.
Mm-hmm.
The reason this blew my mind is, again, because I was shocked that DC is doing things to move in the right direction.
Yes.
Something I don't expect.
Yes. Most
and
don't.
For the Lakers, I'm not surprised that they made a big 3, but the guy they picked to fill it is shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you stated two scenarios. To me, only one of them is possible.
Which
There's
one is
that second scenario with the 16 assists and the LeBron's management is great. Anthony Davis getting MVP, like none of that shit is gonna happen. I can tell you right now.
You don't think it's possible?
First problem, Russ is a low IQ player.
Exactly.
This is my thing with LeBron.
He's still
Again,
going to lead the league in turnovers. That's really going to happen either way. So
this is my thing with LeBron. And LeBron is so good. It's going to, again, come down to how he's playing, of course.
mm-hmm.
From 2012 to now, up until now,
yeah,
no matter what his roster has looked like, whether it's a big three, a big two, and like a third guy who's kind of there as like a fit in big three, whatever the roster is.
Yeah.
LeBron seems to have a good foundation for, all right, this guy has to like take a significant step back with his role.
Mm-hmm.
Bosh in Miami, D Wade had to do it in Miami. Kevin Love had to do it.
Yeah.
But he was smart and didn't make Kyrie do it because we know Kyrie would have sucked if he had to do that.
Yeah, because if Kyrie can't dribble, he has no value on the court.
Right. And just coming into LA with AD, he's kind of perfectly made him like more of an inside out player, more of a physical player.
Yeah.
Kuzma had like little moments where he was the third guy, but then other guys stepped in.
Yeah.
Again, LeBron's, and some of it is coaching, but I think LeBron's play style has dictated in a positive way, like how everybody's going to be playing throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work with Russ.
Never does.
It's never worked with Russ.
Never does.
Russ has been an identical player since Kevin Durant walked out of that organization. Russ and change has been like two completely different things.
Yeah.
Two completely unrelated things. So my fear now is you bring in a guy who you have no choice but to give the ball to.
Right.
You could put every third guy you've had as a big three member, you could say, yo, you got to take a step back.
Yeah. LeBron's been able to run point in the best big threes that he's had.
Yes. And LeBron has emerged finally in LA in his 18th, 19th, 20th year. Mm-hmm. He's finally emerged as a point guard.
Yeah.
Now you take that away. What's Russ? What is Russ's fit with this roster? With this roster who's now, like you said, sorely lacking in shooters.
Yeah.
So there's less space. By the way, LeBron couldn't get by anybody in the playoffs.
And energy they're lacking as well.
Right. Russell Westbrook has struggled to get by. He still gets by people, but he can't finish.
Right. He shot a career worst free throw percentage the last 2 years.
Exactly. Again, the Lakers' greatness and why I've been so confident in them has been mostly their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Russ is capable of playing good defense, but he's, again, low IQ player.
Right.
So I don't have a view of how this big three works together that makes any fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
Other than if they're, again, if they're the best defensive team in the league, then they could overcome whatever problems they got.
I think that's possible. I think you losing KCP is really tough, though, obviously.
I still think it's possible, though.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when
they
you have a
afford
collection,
anybody too, by the way.
Well, we'll see how they fill the roster, because getting DeRozan would make it just bananas at that point. I mean, they're just doing wild shit, really making a 2K team that makes no sense.
If they get DeRozan, LeBron will have a career low in minutes because he just won't play some games. Because having him out there would just not make any sense. like you
Right.
said. I think that's why I think his load management would be great, because there's no way that I could see LeBron and Russ on the court for 40 minutes together.
But this was what hurt them this year. Is in the past, LeBron's obviously the point guard, but he'll take a step back and say, yo, I'll let the backup guys create stuff for me.
Yeah.
This year, the problem was, oh, Caruso's an idiot. I'm not letting him create shit. I'm creating everything.
Yeah.
And that's a bad, I'm joking, but that's a bad thing for real.
Yeah.
Because you saw in the playoffs, Caruso didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
And Schroeder was just so frustrating for LeBron.
And Schroeder, they just kept forcing him like, yo, you're the third guy. You're the third guy. No, you're the fill-in third guy.
Right.
We got enough scoring, enough talent for you not to have to be the third guy. But for some reason, we're making you force passes to Anthony Davis.
Right.
So again, I'm concerned that like something drastic has to happen with one of the big three.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't be Anthony Davis because he's too dominant, too necessary with how he plays, at least at his best.
But if anyone can do something drastic, it would be LeBron, right? A drastic change. He's in the end of his career.
But what's the drastic change? What do you think a drastic change that he could make to make Russ fit better?
I told you, not play.
But that's not a good thing. I don't want Russ carrying like more games than he should.
No, he won't. I don't think he'll carry it. The thing is, first of all, they're going to have to address the 2 spot. So before we go any further in imagining this, I don't know who they're going to have at the 2 guard, right? Because they may have someone at the 2 guard that makes both of us think differently, right? Like, let's say they had CJ McCollum, then we're looking at the team completely different, right?
What if they don't add anybody and throw in Wesley Matthews? Just saying, it's an option.
Or Deion Waiters.
Oh, stop. Stop.
All
I'm
right.
not reaching that far.
If they put Wesley Matthews at the 2, I like the team of no, I take it back. I'm not even going to consider Wes Matthews. If they take another shooting guard that can start on any other team in the league, I like that team with Russ and just Anthony Davis than I do with Russ, Anthony Davis, and LeBron for the whole night. So I'm thinking it would be like one of those Kawhi and Paul George kind of things with Russ and LeBron. That's how it would have to be for me. Yeah, they'll start first quarter, maybe half of the first quarter. Okay, LeBron's out. It's the Russ and AD show for the rest of the quarter into the second quarter. Both of them come out. Now it's LeBron and the rest of the team. You know, LeBron and the backup Marc Gasol or whoever it is, the backup guard, backup center. That's what we're doing. And then fourth quarter, we just see how it worked. Whichever worked best early, that's what we kind of push towards in the fourth quarter. That's the only way I could see it ever like really being functional and like
I see a lot of bad
games
fourth. What you're describing paints a very bad fourth quarter scenario.
Because the one thing about Russ is if he doesn't have a good game, he tries to come make it up in the fourth quarter. He's like, yo, I only took 10 shots tonight. I'm about to take 25 in the fourth quarter.
This is like I'm having a brain aneurysm just thinking about how it would work. Because like every drastic situation I try to think of to like maybe make this team fit, something else is gonna fuck it up.
They have to get another small forward, and I don't know who they're gonna get as starters. They have to get new starters. They have to go get something. It can't just be what they have now. Can't be Wes Matthews. And then who plays? Can't be Caruso. It can't be Markieff Morris. Can't. It's not gonna work.
Who hasn't moved his feet in like 3 years to play any defense?
It's not gonna work.
The fourth quarter, all I picture is whatever team they're playing loading up on LeBron because Anthony Davis is a fucking bitch. He's not in the paint. And Russ, who's wide open? Who's wide open? Because it's not Anthony Davis. We
Right.
don't care if Caruso or Wesley Matthews are wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Russ, right, step into it in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
What's that look like? Brick, air ball, straight backboard, brick. He makes
So,
one, so he takes 5 more bricks.
let me give you a scenario based off the free agents I'm looking at right now. Right. They have Russ, LeBron, AD, no other players. Let's say they get Hardaway Jr. and Jared Allen. Then what do you say about the team with
It's
LeBron
not,
not out
it's
there?
not, it's not the role players that concern me. I think Wesley Matthews wouldn't be the problem if he has to play.
No, no. My problem is if I have Russ out there without LeBron and I have Wesley Matthews out there, I'm having a heart attack as a coach. I need another
But
good
the heart
player out
attack
there
is
with
from
Russ.
Russell Westbrook. It has
I know,
nothing to do with Wesley Matthews.
I know, but I'm saying I don't want Russ and the Wizards out there when LeBron's not there. I don't want another Wizards team out there. That's what I'm saying. I
You're
want a
right.
good team. I want Russ to be with good players.
Obviously, it helps them to have depth. I'm not disagreeing with that.
I need a starting 2 guard that's good. That's all I'm saying.
You're right. You're right.
KCP has to be replaced.
And I'm assuming, and look, I trust the Lakers to like move enough to do something.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're going the rest of the offseason and like scooping up like some bottom feeder to close it out.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's the issue.
But again, forget the big 3, because Anthony Davis, if he can't eat off these guys, he's not good.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll never mistake him to be good again.
You're right.
But
Let me tell you,
LeBron and Russell Westbrook sounds like a disaster.
I agree.
It sounds disgusting. If there's one guy who I could think of, obviously Russell Westbrook has the ugliest turnovers in the league.
Yeah.
And then the second spot, you'd probably pick James Harden, but LeBron is right there.
I
would even argue, I think LeBron's turnovers are uglier than Harden's, like, more often.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's tough between them.
It's 2A, 2B.
The thing I hate about Harden is when he turns the ball over because he didn't get fouled. That's worse than LeBron's turnovers to me. LeBron throws a bad pass, he turns it over. He may come down and throw the shot out of bounds or put it on the glass. He may do that. But Harden, he'll go to the basket, get stripped, and be like this, and then it's a fast break dunk on the other end. No one does anything.
Yeah.
People are open. They're watching Harden dribble, and he loses the ball, and everyone's like just standing there. Everyone's out of position. Sometimes guys are in position to at least get back when LeBron turns it over.
The thing is, it needs to come down to the problem I had with them losing to Phoenix is LeBron let the Lakers lose to Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want LeBron, I want you to lose to Phoenix. I want you and AD to lose to Phoenix, not Caruso and Schroeder. Like, you see what I'm saying?
That sounds funny, but I know you're right. But it does sound funny.
But it's the same problem. I'm watching the Wizards, and it's Russell Westbrook losing the games. Yeah. It's not Bradley Beal, who I love. It's not Hachimura, who I love, or even Bertans, who I like offensively. Mm-hmm. It's Russell Westbrook.
Well, none of those guys are aggressive. That's the problem.
And LeBron had the same issue where it's, oh, Schroeder's aggressive, I'm gonna just back off. Again, if you're backing off to let Russ decide the fourth quarter choices, you're going out in the first round again. I don't care if they get Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't care if they get Joe Harris or like a top tier role 2-guard. Mm-hmm. I don't care if they work some kind of ridiculous magic and get KCP back. If Russell Westbrook is making the majority of the fourth quarter decisions because that's his play style, because the ball just ends up with him, because teams know he's an idiot and give him the ball, they're going out in the first round, regardless of their record.
I agree with you. All
That's
my
all I'm
point
saying.
is I think the duo of Westbrook and Anthony Davis sounds great, but throwing LeBron into that mix, I completely agree with you, sounds really bad. In any quarter, first, second, or third, or fourth.
Of all the big threes that have formed together, this is the worst one on paper to me.
Yeah, it is. All of LeBron's big threes, you mean, or just period?
Just all big threes in general. I've never seen a big three that I've been more like, ew, why than this.
Oh, I'm with that. I'm with that.
It's crazy. Crazy. I can't wait though. That's one thing. LA, hey, they're
Always fun
must
to watch.
watch. Oh my
Always,
God.
always fun to watch. Let me go over some of the free agents that are available. We started, obviously, we said DeRozan, Lowry, um, CP, Kawhi. John Collins is a restricted free agent, likely to sign back with the Hawks. Mike Conley's unrestricted. Lonzo Ball is restricted. Jared Allen, I mentioned. Schroeder, we mentioned. Duncan Robinson is restricted. Norman Powell, Spencer Dinwiddie, Rashawn Holmes, Tim Hardaway Jr., Evan Fournier, Gary Trent Jr., Kelly Oubre Jr., Reggie Jackson, Will Barton, and Markkanen is now restricted free agent. So, any names that you're looking to see? Any moves that you're interested in? Any names that you're? What name are you most interested in between those? I mean, I've obviously, other than the obvious, other than
Yeah, like
CP and
if
Kawhi.
Collins is not coming back to Atlanta, he's by far the most interesting to me. Um, with Kawhi, that's going to be a whole separate mess that we'll get to when it happens.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll give a more low key player that he's been healthy for a long time now, so I think he'll be ready to go. Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
He got healthy before the playoffs, and they didn't play him, which was a
Mm-hmm.
smart move. But I think he's a guard who, again, could come in and he fills whatever guard like things you're missing.
Yeah.
He fills that.
Yeah. He
So I
does big
think, I
time.
mean, I would like for him to reunite with LeVert and Indy. I think if Miami misses on some of the bigger name guys, I think he'd be a great like backup option for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think LA could use him,
He's
especially
from
if
LA.
Schroeder's right. If Schroeder's out of there, which most likely he is,
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely a good fit.
From LA
Clippers would be
too.
a
So
great fit too for him.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think Clippers may be the move. Maybe they tell Kawhi, hey, we can get Dinwiddie if you take 10 less million.
And I'm assuming he's going to be a little more affordable because he's coming off ACL. I think it was ACL tear or maybe a meniscus tear.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Whatever
some
it was a
long.
season-ending
Right,
knee
right.
injury. Yeah,
So again, but he's not a guy who depends on his athleticism.
mm-hmm.
So I'm not as concerned of him coming back as I would be like a Miles Bridges or somebody. But
If they lose Reggie Jackson and get him, I think that's a you make it up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's I mean, it's hard to say that considering what Reggie did in the playoffs.
yeah. Because I was gonna
But
say I won't say it's an upgrade because Reggie played great. Dinwiddie, we don't know if he's even ready.
right.
So,
But on paper, it's a good fit, like a good substitute.
yeah, yeah. And Reggie Jackson's gonna go help somebody this season.
Oh yeah. What about you?
Uh,
You have any names?
um, we said just before air, I think Lonzo is a really, really big pickup for some teams that are just missing a point guard or just missing kind of like a guard that doesn't have negatives, like we mentioned. Because, to me, you get Schroeder, you get the negatives that come with Schroeder. You get that he's a complete, super inconsistent shooter. He kind of misses the open guy sometimes.
More than sometimes.
He misses the open guy a lot of times. He goes to the basket. He takes the harder shot a lot of times going to the basket.
He does what Van Fleet does. He's just more athletic, so he looks better doing it.
Yeah, and then not being able to shoot as well. So for him, compared to Lonzo, I like the Lonzo because you don't get a lot of negatives that comes with him. He's really athletic. He's really fast. He passes. He doesn't miss the open guy. He's becoming a better shooter, but he doesn't take any bad shots. So I think him, when we talk about the teams, the Jazz may lose Conley. We're talking about the Celtics need a new guard. Atlanta, they got DeLon Wright, but we don't know if they're going to keep him. Maybe they need another backup point guard. Milwaukee may be looking for a backup point guard, stuff like that. We got those kind of teams. I like Lonzo in any of those spots. The two guards, I'm not really. I thought I would care more about the two guards, but I really don't. Powell, Trent Jr., Hardaway Jr. I think there's just very few teams that they come and like immediately change.
And they're not consistent enough to be like this huge impact.
Exactly.
Like Hardaway could come in and change the life somewhere, and he could also come in and disappear.
Yep.
So same thing with Trent.
Do
Jr.
absolutely nothing. Yeah.
I will say for Lonzo, man, I want to see him go to like an organization that teaches guys how to win.
Like the Spurs?
Like Toronto, and he's not really a fit in any of those places.
Right.
But like, I don't want him. I think like if Denver is not bringing back like Campazzo or Rivers, if they're losing one of those guys,
yeah,
I think Lonzo would be a great fit for them. But my thing with Lonzo, like he spent his first 2-3 years on the Lakers when they were fucking losers.
Yeah.
His 2 years, this is his second year he just spent on the Pelicans. 2 years of losers.
Yeah.
And it shows in Lonzo's game because he was a big problem with them blowing leads.
He was, yeah.
And a lot of that is just, again, the culture, like nobody really knows how to win.
Right. And as a player, that gets to you. Right. It does. We went to, obviously, some experience being on a team with losers.
Yes.
And just in your mind, you don't want to play hard for that team sometimes.
No. Yeah. And that, like, when the culture is like that, even no matter, like, you could still have winners on the team and they'll eventually become losers.
Yeah.
Because the culture is always going to dominate any individual, like, talent or mindset.
Yeah.
But that's again, I don't disagree with any of the analysis you gave for Lonzo's game. It's really easy to fit with anybody. As long as you don't have 6 point guards. So no thanks to Charlotte.
Exactly.
Surprisingly, because his brother's there. So I would hopefully LaMelo moves at one point so they can play together, because I do want to see that. Yeah,
good. Yeah, but unless they try to trade Graham, which I think is an option for them, because his contract is expiring and he's going to need some money because he's been playing well.
Maybe. Yeah. But like, I would like, for example, if he could. And Phoenix, good chance they keep Campaign considering what he did. But let's just say the price is too much and they got to let him go. Yeah, I think Lonzo backing up CP is like exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Yep, definitely. I think that the only place that I really want to see another 2-guard go is Atlanta, and that's because Atlanta, Bogdanovich's shot selection was really bad this year. Obviously, in the playoffs, it was atrocious. And not that I think he shouldn't start, because I think he's a starting caliber kind of overall player. But when he went out, there was like nothing. And Cam Reddish is coming back. I know we talk about this all the time.
Hunter's coming back too.
But it's just something, I feel like they need another another ball handling shooter. And hopefully Reddish takes that. But if he doesn't, I think Gary Trent Jr. is someone that would be really nice there with Trey or Hardaway Jr. I mean, he's played in Atlanta before, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he would be nice, long, someone who can just play defense too, who doesn't have to take as many shots. Because Bogdanovich, if he's not taking shots, I don't need him on the court. But then he takes too many shots, so it's like it's hard to get that balance. Someone who would give that balance to the team, even Powell, would be nice. I think for them, someone who also has a lot of energy too.
Yeah. Again, we see that still a little bit differently. I still think like it's not bad enough to where I need a free agent to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a more like if my roster's healthier, I could yank Bogdanovich sooner when he starts doing that bullshit.
Right.
That's where like I'll agree with you on the free agent if some of these guys are frail and miss more time.
Yeah, if Reddish gets injured again, they're in trouble.
Right.
The little bit Reddish showed in the playoffs, he looked amazing. He was exactly what I was looking for in that kind of player. Long defender. He could handle the ball well enough. He makes good passes, takes good shots, takes tough shots, makes tough shots. So if Reddish can do that, then that's good.
Yeah, they need to keep developing guys, and I do want them to look at some of these wings and guards.
That's my biggest thing. Dinwiddie there would be fire. They would be set if they had Dinwiddie because Lou didn't do it last year. He didn't do what they thought he would do. Didn't do what anyone thought he would do. Like he just flopped from the last 2 years.
His thing is though, like he's not a consistent production guy. He's not. And that's like all these moves we're talking about include like going away from Lou Will.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these guys would have to take somebody's time, and to me, it's Lou Will.
Yeah.
Because again, the first game he started, he looked perfect.
Yeah.
And then he looked useless after that.
Yeah, and then also Lou Will's issue his whole career was been him not really being able to coexist with another point guard. That's been a major flaw in his game. That's one reason why he gets moved so easily is because if the team has a point guard, well, Lou isn't going to do what he does best if you have another good guard out there. So Dinwiddie is like Lou, but exactly what you want to complement another guard because he can be off the ball or on the ball. Trey obviously is, I mean, everyone would agree he's one of the best shooters in the league, being off the ball or on the ball. Dinwiddie's one of those guys who could take someone one-on-one and kick it out to Trey and it would be money.
We forgot the first trade, Valanciunas to
the Pelicans for Bledsoe and Adams. Yeah. We did forget about that.
Dude, Memphis is close.
I think.
Speaking of a team that should look at the scoring wings and guards.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If this team scoops up, just Gary Trent will be fine.
I mean, maybe a little more height. I would say
Tim Hardaway Jr. is a little better. That's fine. I think they're a toss-up as far as who's better to me.
Yeah, they're definitely a toss-up with who's better, but I think they
Hardaway has more of a ceiling.
Yeah, and from Melton, who was undersized, going right to Trent, I think they should level up in the height.
Grayson Allen is. I don't want him out of the rotation, but he's part of the size problem as well.
Exactly. Yeah. They have a major size problem with guards. Tyus Jones is way too small.
Yeah, and that's their thing is like they make a limited roster look much better than it is.
Yeah.
But like when guys get hurt, we start noticing that they're a limited roster. When they're full strength, they look fine.
Yeah.
So now, if they use this offseason to improve the depth in a couple places, boom. It's just Morant develop, Jaren Jackson, stay healthy, and we're good to go.
Also, the guys Powell, Hardaway, Fournier as well also bring a lot of control to Morant's game as well.
Yes.
Uh, and I think Brooks. They're still trying to figure out if Brooks is going to go 2 or 3 in the lineup. If Anderson, what position Anderson plays, slow mo, Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
So I think having someone Hardaway and Powell, those 2-3 wings, give you the flexibility to go that way. With Trent has to be at the 2.
Yeah, they also need some like somebody who's I know how he's gonna score.
They do.
You know what I mean? Like Brooks plays like he's fucking Jason Tatum. It's weird.
Yeah, he does.
It's not very it's not sustainable a lot of times.
Yeah, he likes a lot of the off balance shots.
Yeah. Morant's all over the place. Sometimes he's the best point guard in the league. Sometimes it disgusts me that he's even playing point guard.
Yep.
And as far as the bigs go, like on paper, Adams for Valanciunas is not a downgrade, not an upgrade. But it's not. It's not that. It really is a downgrade.
Yeah, I was gonna say based off last year, it's a downgrade.
Yes, because Valanciunas, he's on the glass. Whether he's touching the ball or not, he's on the glass.
But not only is he on the glass, he's putting it right back in the basket.
Yes.
That's my problem with Adams. Adams gets it on the glass and turns around,
kicks it out like he's playing for Golden State.
No, just put it. You're 7 foot. Put it back in the basket. He's always looking to kick it out to somebody.
And that's my thing. Like Adams is like developing his 3-point shot. Jaren Jackson is doing that. Yeah, I need you inside.
We need you to put the ball in the basket. That's all we ask of you.
Yes.
And Adams just doesn't do that.
He just disappears too much from me, man.
He does. Well, part of it is because his scoring average is so low. He'll have he'll always be top 10, top 15 in rebounds and have the lowest scoring average out of those guys. And it's because he just doesn't put the ball back in the basket. He gets offensive rebounds.
He does everything like a good big does. He just doesn't do it enough.
Yeah.
And some of that is just honestly like motor. Like I think Memphis is a good place for him. Again, he just spent a year playing on a team full of losers.
Yeah.
And again, it was because of the culture, not because I hate the players.
Right.
But Memphis they're developing a winning culture.
Yeah.
Lonzo, by the way, would be great there too.
Yeah. Yep. He would. And the other issue with, we were talking about the other guards. Keep in mind, Bledsoe is also undersized coming in the game. At 6-man probably here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about Morant making the primary decisions and then Bledsoe backing him up. Sounds like more turnovers that I like to see.
Bledsoe was one of those. As a 6-man, he's more combo than he is as a starter. Right.
And they'll probably
come in for the 2.
I wouldn't be surprised if they turned up in the same lineup.
Yeah, they might. They might be low-key crazy in some
games. They're competitive enough to do that.
Yeah, I think. And again, depending on one of these wings, if they get one, they're one of those teams that if they catch a run, it's like the game's over. Like you remember those AAU teams that would press the whole game?
Yes.
And once they got like 8 straight points, you might as well just pack your bags and go home. Because
once they made a couple shots, now their press is way better.
Yeah.
Like now guys are flying more. Oh yeah, you're done.
Exactly. That's how I see Bledsoe and Morant possibly being. If they catch that momentum, and that's why someone like Powell, the momentum god, if he gets in there with that kind of lineup, they got they got options.
With that. Again, I need Jaren Jackson healthy for a year, though. That's my first priority.
I need him healthy for a year. I need him to play some defense. I need him blocking shots like he came in the league doing.
And taking good shots.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want any step backs from Jaren Jackson. Never.
Yes. I don't want heavy contesteds. Like,
I saw him trying to give like those little inside out, pull back sidestep shots from like the mid range at
yeah,
7 foot. Why are you
yeah,
doing that?
not enough. He came back right in time for the playoffs, and I barely saw him trying to get inside.
Yeah, no.
Like that Porzingis shit of just hovering around because you could shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you can shoot, but that's not the only reason you're out there.
Right.
So,
Yep.
but we'll see, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for Memphis. I think they have a lot of different things they could do to make some steps in the right direction.
I think so too. I think so too. Um, I think that's all we got as far as NBA moves and trades. The
I
Olympics are
think.
going on. The
Oh yeah.
bracket is out. Oh, did you have something else to
I
say?
was just gonna say. I think we mentioned it, but Detroit's another team to kind of compare East and West. They're a similar like Memphis situation where their roster's pretty much filled out.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just building the culture. Now it's maybe making a move or two here and there.
Yeah.
But their roster doesn't have glaring like things they're missing anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
maybe
agree.
like perimeter shooting, but I thought they
Yeah.
shot the ball better than I thought they would last year.
Yeah, and I think they could use a obviously a stable point guard eventually. But
I want
because
to give the guy a chance who missed the whole year.
yeah, I do too. Yeah. But I don't
He's
know if
probably
I
not
he
it,
needs to
but
have a chance at this at us as a starter. That's the problem.
yeah, I feel you.
But everything else, Grant, um, they're getting Garza. They let Plumlee go, I think, though, right?
If Plum is a free agent, he should be very sought after.
Maybe they just didn't pick up his option and made him a restricted free agent. I think something like that. I
They
saw
should
it, but
let
I
him go.
can't find it. But then they got the Sadiq Bey. He played great. They had another kid that played really good this year.
At the end of the year, they had a kid who stepped up.
Stewart, big guy,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But Cunningham and Grant together as wings sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does. It sounds good.
Sprinkle in again, if they are active in the off season, I'm happy for them.
Yep. And then I assume Sadiq Bey will play whatever other position is out there. I don't know what position Cunningham really plays. Is he
Yeah,
going to be a 2 or a 3?
probably a 3.
You
I don't
know,
know if he could guard threes.
Josh Jackson actually played really well for them last year.
That's right, he did.
And so did randomly Hamidou Diallo played good for them too for a little while. Not the whole year, but he had a run of good games. They got Dennis Smith Jr. there. Frank Jackson played pretty good this year. But some guys just if they're out there for 40 minutes, they're gonna do something. They're not like
Right.
so.
And having that many wild cards, you might as well throw them out there. That's one thing that like Orlando always wastes because they try to be like a disciplined organization with all first and second year players.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just throw them out there, let them suck, let us see if they could go or not.
Livers actually fits into this roster fire. Having Cunningham, Grant, and Livers out there at the same time, and Bay,
I
all
mean,
like
Livers and
positionless players.
Garza, even if you didn't have front court depth, which I thought they did to some extent,
Mm-hmm.
now it's like you used a second round to literally fix a depth problem.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
hard to. It's you don't get a lot of second rounds to fix depth, and they managed to do it.
Yep. Yep, they did. They did. Okay. The Olympic bracket is out for the men's side. It is Italy and France, Slovenia and Germany. Is Schroeder playing for Germany?
I don't think so.
I haven't seen them play. I haven't caught one of the Germany games. Spain versus USA, and then Argentina and Australia on the Spain and USA side of the bracket. So it looks like they gave us the absolute hardest time to make it to the finals. We got to go to Spain and then the winner of Australia and Argentina.
I've gotten to watch one game. I got to watch a random Spain and Slovenia because I knew the loser of that would be playing the US.
Yeah.
Dude. First of all, Spain looked like the way better team and they lost.
They are the better team.
Rudy Fernandez is not washed.
I know. He can still go.
Pau Gasol is like much further away from being washed than I thought he looked in the league.
I agree. He looks better than Mark did in the league. He looks better here than Mark did in the league.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Again, Mark is still there, and Mark uses all his fouls.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
Rubio is not gone anywhere. He's still pretty great.
Yeah. He got traded too, by the way. I didn't mention it, but he just got traded to the Cavs. For
I don't know where I'd like him, to be honest, but
I don't know who it was for. But Prince, Praetorian Prince. Prince is going to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Timberwolves. I don't know what they're doing. No, but like they lost because Slovenia, like not even Luka individually, Slovenia turned up as a team. And again, Slovenia is a lot of fun to watch, by the way. But the way they turned up was all things that I don't see the US doing.
Which is what?
Where their front court just got relentless on the offensive glass. I haven't seen that from US yet. Their shooters started making tough shots. Like they spent a 5-minute stretch where these guys, and some of these guys, their form, just the way they shoot the ball is funny enough.
Yeah.
But they're knocking it down in people's eyes. And I'm like, damn, like, is this fluke or is this like something serious?
Right.
Yo, Slovenia, they play off of Luka so well.
They do.
So well. And they similar to how Dallas does it. Every time Luka's like on the kind of nonsense where he's just doing dumb shit or just not playing well.
Yeah.
Everybody in the team elevates their level of energy. And Slovenia does that especially in this game that I watched, just flawlessly.
It looks like he just came in and just took Goran Dragic's role. Because that's how they kind of played with him. And then they just inserted Luka there instead of him. Since he didn't come this time. Yeah.
And they look really good. But, dude, Spain, to me, controlled 35 minutes of this game, maybe 34.
Spain is good, man.
And it was a balanced all-around effort.
The Hernan Gomez looked like elite.
Hernan Gomez looked great, too, by the way.
He looks like a great player on the Olympic team.
He looks like a good player in the league sometimes. He doesn't defend well, and he's not a leaper.
Yeah. Also, Sergio Rodriguez isn't quite washed either.
No, he's not. But again,
Alex Sabrines, he kind of got kicked out of the league a little bit early to me too. I thought he had a good few years for OKC, and
his career, like Russ didn't give him a chance for real, and then he struggled for a little bit after that, and that's it. That's all the chance he got.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I'm watching this game, and both of these teams, whether they're playing well or struggling, they're getting better quality looks than the United States does.
Yep.
Again, everybody touches the ball. There's we're passing for a reason. We're not just passing to find the best mismatch or because KD has a mid-range ISO instead of Dame having a several feet behind the line ISO.
Right.
And the more I'm watching the US, and I know they won 2 games, but the more I'm looking at Popovich and just how awful he is at putting these guys together.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I watched about a half of the France game,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched like bits and pieces of the other two games.
Uh-huh.
What are they doing on offense? Can you tell me? Because I can't explain it.
It just, to me, and I know I'm like the hater of the century for this guy, but to me, it looks like he's afraid to let anyone but Durant shoot the ball. To me, it's like he's afraid that Durant is going to get mad if the play runs for anybody. Because it's weird. Like at the end of the game, uh, it was France that they lost to, right?
Yeah.
It was at the end of the France game. It was still like a good game, but they came down and like Dame had like one little handoff play and he would go out to the corner and then they'd give it to Durant and then the play was over. Like Durant came off a screen. I guess he was supposed to look for the shot. And if the shot wasn't there, okay, play's over. Durant just figure something out. Then guys are just moving without the ball, like, passing and cutting kind of after that, like you do in just any pickup game. Like the play is so short, it's too short. And when I see all these other guys, these other teams, they're running plays for like a full 20 seconds of the shot clock. Like the play is still going 18 seconds of the shot clock. They're passing this, these two guys set some kind of action away. There's an L cut here. There's another screen here. There's a flex screen there. Like they're doing all these kind of things. And we're just like, yo, pass it, play pickup after that. And Bam is like in a weird Bam and Draymond. I don't know what spots they're supposed to be in on offense because they just kind of float in people's way a lot of times.
Yeah. Bam looks in the way almost every possession.
Yeah, Draymond isn't like he's not really letting Draymond be enough of a playmaker for him to like he's not getting loose as a playmaker, it looks like. Um and Tatum just it's clear Tatum can't play off the ball. That's one thing that is just it's showing like a lot of the weaknesses as far as offense goes for us. Damian is not a playmaker, not a maybe he's a facilitator, but he's not a playmaker. Jason Tatum cannot play
Yes.
off the ball.
Yes. In
Grant,
the way the league is starting to play, everybody could get a lot of assists.
yeah,
So like the assists don't tell us who the real point guards are anymore.
right. That's true.
And what's crazy to me is Popovich is like coaching these guys as if they're too stupid to like play, to have depth and to run different sets,
Yeah.
but also like they should be smart enough to figure everything out.
Yep. I agree. He is
Like,
doing that. And he's like, yo, Durant, you're great enough. Just get us a shot. That's what it looked like in the whole fourth quarter of that game, of the France
yeah,
game.
and this last Czech Republic game, Durant was spectacular. Like he was
He
all over the place. His shooting was great. He was
Yep.
getting blocks, steals. He was locking guys up.
Yep.
The problem with Durant, and we've been like, we can't get that every night for some reason. I guess it takes too much work,
No, we can't.
which I understand. Jimmy Butler has told me that not a lot of guys are built for it to like really do it over time.
And the thing is, and this is what's been Durant's biggest thing of his career. Durant is he starts the game off better when he's like a role player and then let him turn up from there. You don't let him start the game off as your go-to guy and then try to back him off the ball. You let him start off the ball, and if he's feeling it, okay, thanks for coming to the game, Durant. Here's the ball some more. That's what kind of has to happen. But doing it the opposite way, like Popovich thinks Durant's just going to start the game out as like Kobe. That's not it. It's not his game. He can't do it.
Popovich looks like he's not as good at putting talent together as we thought.
No, he's not.
And the credit that he got for Manu, Parker, and Duncan
Mhm.
A lot more of that should be to those three than to him.
Well, I'll push back on that a little bit because the difference is all those guys were birthed into his system in the league. Now, I don't think he can just coach a collection of players, but if your first time in the league is playing under his system, he can make that work. But you can't. He's not gonna. That's probably why they don't make a lot of trades in San Antonio because he can't get somebody from another system and put him in his system. But he can take blank, a blank sheet and you know paint his system onto it, but not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Because all those guys, they all got drafted by Popovich.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I should keep it away from San Antonio because that's again the organization like does a lot of things to make that happen and make that like work for him.
Yeah, yeah. When you look at their team, like to your point, when you look at the teams, he's never really gotten someone that got traded there to work well. Other than and this is why the DeRozan thing is such a surprise. Most of the guys he gets that come in from trades, they're like, they're just kind of either basic or they're very limited in their role.
Yeah, Aldridge hated it. Rudy Gay was like half the player he was.
Yeah.
Probably who am I miss? Who was before that? There's somebody big. Oh, Steven Jackson
had a hard time.
Yeah.
Richard Jefferson had a hard time.
All those guys are vets, by the way, who succeeded in multiple other places.
Yeah,
maybe not Aldridge, but the other guys succeeded in multiple other places.
Yeah, and Aldridge was the best power forward in the league, in a lot of people's eyes. And then he got there, and he's just some big
sucks. Dude. Yeah, he just sucks.
Yeah, so that might be the issue with Popovich. If you have any other thought process of a idea of how the offense should go.
But again, if they were struggling, like, and I saw a little bit of this in the scrimmages, they're trying to move the ball. They're trying to like have everybody included in the play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sustain because the guys, they're just used to attacking when they got a good matchup. They're used to attacking it.
Right.
That's why early on I was a lot more critical of the players because they're not guarding anybody. They don't want to commit to passing it to each other. Everybody thinks they're a mismatch. Like it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But now we're in the real games and this team has no identity.
Right.
They're not playing a certain way. And I'm like, they're trying to play Popovich's way and they're just not built for it.
Right.
I'd understand if they were losing like that.
But it looked like Popovich just doesn't know how to put these guys into these positions.
Exactly. Popovich looks like he doesn't know how these guys play.
Exactly. Like to me, when you're building the Olympic team, it's almost like, like how me and you used to play 2K all the time, right? Because you say, all right, I have Dame. I know what Dame's going to do. I'm spreading the floor because I have him. I have Dame and Durant. I'm spreading the floor. I got Tatum. He's a good inside, outside ISO guy. I got Bam. He's a great screen setter, roll to the basket. He's catching lobs. You know that in a video game. Like, that's all you have to use is their talents on an Olympic team. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You don't have to make them do anything that they aren't their badges on 2K. That's all you need in an Olympic team. That's all the other teams do.
All the other teams is just they play a cohesive style where everybody's included.
Yeah.
To then, even if the guy with the ugly form, he feels confident enough to take and make tough shots in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I have no problem with Tatum's form, but he's not involved for 3 quarters and then he's missing. And it's like, he sucks. Like, what do you mean? Everybody would miss in this situation.
Exactly.
And I just like, again, Dame is not a point guard. And it's like Team USA is shocked by that. What are you talking about? He's never been a point guard.
I know. And they are limiting his shot attempts for some, like.
Yeah. And of all people, his shots are being limited.
Yeah. In the
What
fourth
is
quarter,
that?
they ran a play for everybody but Dame. I'm like, did you guys not remember him cashing out in the
That's what
fourth,
I'm saying.
Mr.
Like
Fourth Quarter? Dame time?
Popovich should apologize to the team doing that shit.
I know. I would have said,
It's offensive. Like it really is offensive.
but you know the other difference? To me, it looks like Popovich is afraid to offend the other guys for some reason.
Yes.
Because I would have said, you look, y'all know what time it is. It's 2 minutes left. Dame, take us home. That's it. Durant, I know who you are. I know who you are at Tatum. Y'all are good. You guys have some clutch moments.
Yeah,
But
and
we
if
know
y'all
what
get
time
it,
it is.
if y'all get a good shot, take it.
Yeah, but
But we're not putting the ball in your hands to get a good shot.
Exactly.
When we got Dame on the fucking team.
Exactly. I'm like, listen, we have watched this season. We've all played against this dude. I'd say this in the timeout. Damian, let's do it. Everyone knows. Everyone should know that. And no one should have a problem.
Like, yo, pull him to the side. Like, yo, you know what time it is.
Exactly.
Let's take care of it.
But the team has to know. The team has to know. Because Durant has to know, look, man, you get open. Because Damian has the ball for at least 16 out of this 24-second shot clock. Come on.
But that's why, like, Keldon Johnson comes in and he fits well because he's like a system guy.
Yeah. And
none of these, most of these other guys aren't system guys. And Popovich, like, is trying to do the worst of both worlds where he wants to force them to be system players, but he also wants them to show off that they could do everything.
Yeah.
Why? It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
The fact that I'm looking at like 8 or 9 of these guys against Czech Republic, and I don't know what their role is on the court.
I know. I don't know what some of these guys are even good at anymore.
I mean,
based off this.
Honestly, early on in the Czech Republic game, they're getting the most spot-up looks for Jeremy Grant, of all people, who would probably come in last in a shooting competition with this roster. Maybe not last. Draymond will probably be last.
Other than Bam and Draymond, yeah, he'd be last of everybody but the centers. Yeah.
Yeah, and like JaVale, obviously. Yeah, right. But like it's bizarre where we had to try to get Duncan Robinson so we could have a real spot-up shooter on a roster. That's ridiculous. Keldon Johnson comes in and looks like he's like way more of a spot-up vet than anybody else on the team.
He does.
I mean, Zach LaVine has to develop into a spot-up like specialist in 3 games.
And you know, I think this is where we have the difference between Coach K and Popovich. I don't think Coach K had any problem saying, hey, you know what you do best. That's all we need you to do on this team. Hey, we all know what you do. That's all we need from you. But Popovich looks like he's like, I shouldn't say afraid because, I don't want to accuse him of that, but he looks like he doesn't want to tell guys, hey, all we need is your specialty for this team. And that's really Grant's specialty is doing everything, doing a little bit of everything. And that's all they should use him for.
Yep. He comes in and he's getting spot up looks, but nobody tries to get him a lob.
Nope.
I don't think there's a soul for him. There's not a soul on any other Olympic roster that can match his athleticism.
Grant's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody.
Not a soul.
Nobody. Yep.
He would against watching Slovenia, he would look like a varsity player against JV playing those guys. Honestly.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And Slovenia, but again, the difference is Slovenia's got guys who aren't that good, and they know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody has to play like they're not that good here. I'm sorry, but not everybody can play like they're the best team player on the team.
And that's and the point I was making was that's the difference, because in Coach K's time, Carmelo played like he was just a shooter.
Russ played like
he could do
Russ
everything,
played
but
like he was just an Energizer bunny.
that's it. And I mean, all the bigs played like all they could do was lob and block shots, and that's perfectly fine. Catch lobs and block shots. That's all Chandler needed to do. That's all we needed, from those guys.
Dwight, Chris Bosh, all those guys.
And Bosh, talk about someone taking a step back. In my opinion, Bosh is probably one of the most talented big men, like overall about everything part of the game ever. And all he did was play inside on Team USA. Bosh could hit
D
threes, he could
Wade,
pass.
even D Wade came in and just hustled, just cut, moved, played with like fire.
Yeah.
I don't see that from any of these guys.
D-Wade took very few jump shots in Team USA. And that's because that's not one of his specialties.
While Tatum is taking a lot of spot ups.
And that's his
The
worst aspect of his game.
The thing we've been most critical about his game. That's what he's doing the most of.
To me, everyone on the team is doing the most of what they don't do best, other than Drew Holiday. And
yeah.
That's it.
Drew Holiday was the one guy who that's why I was excited for him to get there.
Yeah.
But they're not even letting him like have as much impact as he should.
No, but he comes out there and he does what he does. Levine is doing pretty good. He's just scoring for the most part, going to the basket hard. He's doing that. But the rest of these guys, Tatum shooting jump shots, Durant's handling the ball a little too long. Bam is floating outside the paint. Booker's taking a lot of, trying to take a lot of threes, and Grant's trying to score too much. So it's just everything that they're not good at.
I just don't understand. Coach K gave you the blueprint.
It was very, very simple.
It's so simple. Like it's not. Team USA always knew that Kobe 2012, 08, Kobe's the best player. He's a closer. Yeah. He's the go-to guy. But when we could play through other people, we don't have to play through Kobe.
Right.
Like you said, it's bizarre. My bad. My laptop's about to die.
That's all good.
But it's bizarre that like only Durant could decide how the games go.
Right. That's not good.
He got to go. Even Golden State didn't make him do that.
Yeah. He wasn't. I mean, Golden State was like an all-star team.
And he did. And they played like it was multiple all-stars, not just KD.
They played like they had a 2-time MVP on the team. Like this team should be playing. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, man. You know what I think it is more than anything?
What?
This is the first time we're looking at Popovich where he doesn't have complete control.
Exactly.
And it looks inept.
And that's why, for me, for a long time, calling those guys, Tim Duncan, Parker, those guys leaders, I'm like, they're not the leader on that team. Popovich is the leader on court, off the court, locker room. It's all Popovich and everything. It was like he was playing 2K with that team, with like his created team. It was just all, like you said, it was all control. And this team, he relinquished control for some reason.
That's been Coach K's strength.
Yeah.
It's coming in, taking control.
And I think that might be something that was better that they didn't have an NBA coach doing it, because it's kind of a different level of respect. I don't know if those guys have the same. I know as far as like Hall of Fame status, they respect Popovich, but he's still technically like their enemy normally. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they don't think he's a great coach. They probably do, but as soon as they leave here, they're trying to beat him again. And with Coach K, there was no hang-ups. I'm not sure. I don't remember the last time a Duke guy was on the Olympic team. So it's not like he had any history with these guys. Maybe they played against him in college, maybe not. But
I think AD 2012 they had AD. That was.
Yeah, he was only the college guy that. at the time. Yeah, but he wasn't going back.
Okay.
So it's not like it's any future hang up, any old hang up. It's just,
Right.
yeah, I'm just here to coach you guys, and that's it. So that's small. That really shouldn't happen, but it could happen. As men, we know how we are.
Yeah.
That psyche. These guys play against each other so many times, so many years. So
I hope this Spain game, man. I hope they're just competing start to finish. That's my thing. Like Fournier gets going, and we're mad that Dame is throwing the ball away.
yeah,
How is nobody mad that Fournier just gave us an L single-handedly? But
yeah,
we're mad because Dame is turning the ball over. Like all of y'all are prone to do that shit.
right.
But
And the only
stopping
reason
Fournier, we're not even thinking about that, even though he's got 24, 25 still going.
28.
Yeah, he finished with 28. But I mean, like, he
Oh,
got
yeah.
going. He got going all off of like basic shit.
He did, yeah.
Like, like a little misdirection cut on the inbound three. Like a tough drive and one. Drive and kick 3. Offensive rebound kick out 3.
Yeah.
We're in the finals minutes of the game, and it's Fournier is just like cooking y'all off of simple shit.
Yeah, you're mad Dame is turning the ball over, but you're not helping Dame get open for shots. So
exactly,
pick one. You want me to just pass it? That's not what I do.
This team, it's shocking because the reason why I'm so negative is these 2 wins. They haven't shown me the willingness to really improve on their problems.
Yep, I agree.
Of course you're going to play good defense against Iran. They don't have the threats that Australia has or that France has or Spain or Slovenia. Like everybody knows that. Czech Republic, same thing.
Yeah.
Again, the defense hasn't gotten any better. The offense looks worse every game.
Yeah.
It's just guys have to shoot well.
And why does Popovich let guys that he coaches work us? Why does Nando De Colo and Patty Mills scorching us like that?
And again, like Patty Mills, it's not like his game is like overly complicated. You know what I mean? Like it's not like guys are just like getting exposed.
Right.
It's literally a lack of attention to detail.
Right.
And it's so embarrassing when you spent the months leading up to the Olympics every time they happen, talking about how proud you are representing the country.
Mm-hmm.
When I get picked up by a team and I'm proud of that and I'm proud to be on the team, I wouldn't have the audacity to not play defense.
Right.
But these guys, I guess they're built different.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. But like you said, they got a tough road. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Having to play Spain and Australia or Argentina back to back is tough, no matter what. Even if it wasn't in the tournament.
So. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna, if they get to Slovenia, Luka is sending them home.
If Luka sends them home, man, I may burn a flag after that. Because that would be so bad if Luka sends them.
Oh my God! Did you have to watch? Have you watched Slovenia yet at all?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Oh, you have seen them.
Yeah, it's like,
bro, that
like,
one little guard. Yeah,
they look like Will Smith's team in Fresh Prince. Just pass it to Will.
Yo, but
Will
they take
throwing
shots,
himself alley-oops and stuff.
Like the one dude, like his feet land like almost crisscross. It's like bizarre.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that Spain game, they got going and never looked back.
Yeah. Yep. And the thing is, they have so many NBA guys. So, I mean, I shouldn't say so many, but the other dude, the dude who had the good game, Kankar, I don't know how to.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know how to say his name,
I
but
don't know.
he had the highest scoring against Spain. He's on Denver. He's on the Nuggets, and he didn't get a lot of playing time. But obviously he plays against NBA guys, and we know Zoran is good. We know.
Right. I'm gonna be honest. It was shocking to see Fernandez. Looks like he hasn't aged a day.
I know, man.
I mean, his game wasn't like he didn't have to be crazy athletic, but he's still zooming around to get open.
I bet he can still catch those alley oops though. If they throw him one, I bet he could still put one down.
He probably could.
That little that backdoor reverse he used to do used to be so sweet.
Sick.
He's
he used
36.
To be nice.
They have their team is old though. They're gonna have to find some a new generation of
that's
guys.
Down the line. We worry about getting the gold now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're right. Yeah. I hope Abrinas gets another NBA shot because I like him. I think he's cool. Seems like a good dude.
I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not pressed.
Yeah, me either.
I'm okay if we will never see him in the league. I'm sure he could easily pop up on like any other pro like basketball thing and do well.
Yeah, he could.
Like the tournament that just happened, or is this still? I think the finals. Either just happened or it's about to happen.
The finals, I think, are this week, sometime this week.
The TBT, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
TBT.
He's on FC Barcelona with Pau. Abrinas is. So he's on a good squad. They probably make more money there anyway, though.
Yeah.
Because Rudy kind of left in his prime. So did Sergio Rodriguez.
Yeah, Mirotic just dipped out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly there's, and I don't know if it's all money, but there's clearly some of these guys, like there's way more of an appeal to be back. I mean, I'll never disagree with somebody wanting to be closer to home.
Yeah.
That's always understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mirotic is on FC Barcelona too. So I wonder why he didn't play on the national team.
What country is he from?
He's from Montenegro, but they play for Spain too.
Okay.
But they had a team one year, I think. So maybe he decides to play for them instead of Spain. So I don't know. Ibaka didn't play this year, so I don't know. Maybe it's just different this year.
Damn, Colangelo really roasted Kevin Love on the way out.
Yeah.
Made him look rough.
I don't, like I said, I didn't mind it. I liked it, actually. I think someone should speak some truth about what's going on.
Yeah. I like that he was blunt.
Yeah, I like that. Since we are a sports podcast, we do have to say this is just a weird Olympics. I'll just say that. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm just tired of talking about it and tired of hearing about it. But Simone Biles is coming back for the balance beam. She decided to come back and help us win that one.
Why was it like a mystery? Why didn't they initially just tell us, or she just tell us that it was I forget what it's called, but like that condition you get when you like mess up and start like overthinking it.
Well, she called it the twisties, right?
Yeah, the twisties.
Yeah.
Which it's like I've heard of that. I never heard of it in gymnastics, but like it's a thing in other sports to a lesser extent.
Yeah, it has a scientific name. I don't know it, but
right. But it's like we didn't learn that until like several days or even like a week after.
Yeah.
At first they had us thinking she was hurt. Then it's just a mental health thing. Like this isn't you don't classify this as like
an injury,
as like a mental health. Like I need time to take care of my mental well-being.
That's why it's confusing. It's confusing from everybody. That's what, because she said that she needed time for her mental health, but then they said it was an injury, and then she came back and said no, it was the twisties, and then I don't know why they're not being consistent or being upfront with exactly what was going on, but
That's all. Again, the problems I have with Kyrie all year. Just let us know what's happening.
LeBron too.
Yeah,
He does the
all
same
these
thing.
guys. So
All this
unnecessary.
cryptic stuff, being cryptic, is so cool now instead of just telling us what's going on, because that's all the media ever wants. They always want to dog the media and dog. I shouldn't say they, but certain players, certain athletes always want to dog the media, but really the media is just asking what's going on. That's it.
Yes, and if we had a clear knowledge of what was going on, we wouldn't be pressing all about it.
Exactly. And the thing is, if they ask further questions, that's when you say, it's none of your business.
Right.
But the first thing we need to, all these people wondering why you're not participating, we would like to know. And you're not working for yourself at that point. You're participating on behalf of the entire country. So it's not like it's like the NBA or something else. It's something a little more serious. But I'm glad she's back. Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully all of the athletes dealing with that are okay.
Hey, I don't know how they're dealing with the beds.
Yeah, those are things.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's tough. The whole quarters looks pretty wild. I like how they have it set up, those different towers. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool, but
Yeah.
Good thing it's only for like 3 weeks or a month or so. So, all right, well, we'll get out of here. We'll be back again. We're gonna catch up on music finally.
Movies, shows, we got a lot.
Yeah, we do. We may have to double up a few times this week, maybe. I mean, not this week, but a few weeks just to fully catch up. A lot of music is coming out. A lot of music just came out. But you guys, I think our listeners know that if something really big happened, we would mention it. But other than that, we just got new music we feel like are worth talking about, so we'll bring that. Other than that, subscribe, follow us.
Yep.
No Clue Podcast on Instagram.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for listening as always. Turn our notifications on, the little bell, whatever, on YouTube. And we'll talk to you guys next time.